hardwire. The open roads are thrown by your life televised, we're breaking every bone. Adrenaline insurgents, brace on the fall. Hitting it with hardwire. Hear the engine scream. Living fast and reckless, this is our metal dream. Riding hard, never slowing me. In the spotlight we shine. A biker's brutal journey. This life is ours divine. With hardwire, the crowd screams our name, chasing down the shadows, we're addicted to the fame. Chains rattling loud, the brotherhood's alive. Every episode turns up, we're here to survive. From dusk till dawn, we're the keys of this thrill. Hitting it with hardwire. Hear the engine scream. Living fast and reckless, this is our metal dream. Riding hard, never slowing me. In the spotlight we shine. A biker's brutal journey. This life is ours divine. On the edge of chaos, we embrace the feel. Hitting it with hardwire, we'll always be here.
Hey everybody, welcome to Hittin' It with HardWire. How's everybody doing? Hope you all had a great week. I see Codes in here. What's happening, man? Gary, Garney. It's good to see everybody. Had a good, fairly productive week. My old lady finally got her stereo hooked up yesterday, and she's tickled about it. That's always a good thing, you know, when the old ladies make her happy. I got her 12s hooked up in her car. The only thing I don't like about it is when you leave the factory stereo in there, you got to put a line output converter in it. And the line output converter I put in there is a sucky one, so I got a better one coming. And when you turn the gain up a little bit on it, it's noisy. So I got a little bit better one coming. We'll try another one. I buy enough crap through sonicelectronics.com. Go there if you want car audio and motorcycle audio equipment. Yeah, Code will be on tomorrow. And if you want to donate, I think I might still have his link in here from last year. Let's see. See if I still have it in here. Oh, I don't think I don't. But I'll get it. We'll put it in there for his toy drive. I donated last year. He had a pretty good turnout last year. Turned out pretty good. And donate to the kids. It's always a good thing. Down there, I believe he donates. What's the place where you took him? I can't remember. It's somewhere there in Philly. In Philadelphia, PA. There's lots of kids at the. I think he took it to. I don't remember if. What did I do? Hospital or something there. It's for a good cause. I got another Charlie Kirk vigil to attend Tuesday this week. On the official day of remembrance for Charlie Kirk. If you guys want me to set up the tripod and put it on live, I can do that. I don't mind. It turned out okay last time. This time I'm kind of helping with it a little bit, so I'm taking my speakers and PA down there for the feller to use, and I could probably get a little closer with the camera this time around. Last time it wasn't my thing. What's up, Dean and Gary and oh hell, Frank was in here earlier. Frank. I just had my old lady go pick up some new shirts. I designed it's the first one I think that wasn't club related anyway. First time I've ever designed my own shirt and had one made, and it turned out really well. I have to say, my old lady just went and picked them up. She just finished the shirts. On the front it says, "We are Charlie. You can kill a man, but you can't kill a message." And on the back it says, see, try not to hold it crooked. Hold it this way. "Thank you, Charlie Kirk. Enjoy heaven. We'll see you when we get there." I'm going the wrong way here. Turned out really well, I thought. I thought she did a good job of making these shirts. I only had two of them made, one for me and one for my old lady, but I told her that if I have enough people that want them, I might, take some orders and send some out. And she didn't charge me a whole hell of a lot for them, and they're what they call DTF transfers. They're not really crappy cheap vinyl, so they're good. It's the next best thing to silk screen that you can get, because it's like an ink on a shirt, instead of really crappy vinyl. I will say she charged me half of what I checked at another local shop about having them made, and they was going to charge me double, and they was going to use heat transfer vinyl. I says, I asked you when I first sent it to you if you was whether you do DTF, silk screen, heat transfer vinyl. They didn't answer me, and then we went through the rigmarole sending pictures back and forth trying to get the pictures right, and they sent me a thing with the shirt. Shit, what do they call it? A mock up or whatever, and it said on there that they own the rights to any shirts that they print. And I said, no, you're not taking my artwork. I designed that. You're not taking my artwork for your use, so you need to remove that from your approval letter, because I'm not giving you my artwork. And then they told me after I went through the approval process and all that it was heat transfer vinyl. And I said, "Fuck you! I can do that at home." I said, "You wasted my time." And then I decided to get a hold of the one guy that was in the club, or he's still in the club. The one guy in the club he has a lady that did all our shirts for us locally. And I asked him if he could have her make a couple shirts for me, and he gave me her number. And I got a hold of her and asked her I asked her if she had any problems, because some people just have problems with it. Asked her if she had any problems with it, and she's like, "Oh, no, I'll make it for you." And I had to send her files back and forth a couple times, but turned out nice. Turned out real nice. I like it. And this hat's like some Chinese cheapo hat that I bought. And I have another one that I've bought off the Officer Tatum store. All the proceeds are going to Charlie's family. But I saw this hat and I liked it. I didn't realize it was it's a regular, like it's not a good hat. It's got it's got the snappies in the back instead of the flex fit, and it's and It kind of looks all right on camera, but it's like almost like on a white, like it was printed or something. I don't know. I ordered it off of Facebook. And Facebook always has them ads come up and advertises shit to you. And half the time, if you order something off of it, you're lucky if you get it, because half of them are scams. So I ordered it because I liked it, thinking I very well may not get anything. And I got them. It took a little while. Yeah. You could, what was that? You're supposed to be able to spin, what was it, Motley? I think it was Motley Crue, Shout At the Devil backwards, and it's like supposed to like be some kind of devil incantation or something. That was all horseshit. But it sold records. And record player needles. Sold a whole bunch of record player needles because it fucked them up. That is not good for them. They're not meant to be spun backwards. I'm going to flip this damn thing back before it drives me up the wall. I wanted to be able to show it to you without it being backwards. But no, I got to flip it back around. It's going to drive me batshit. So how in the hell is everybody? I finally got my stereo fixed in my truck, all done. Got her all done. It's working good. I was having an issue with the computer module, control module, and I called, I think it was Tuesday, I actually called Rockford Filesgate and asked them about it. And I told them I had a 2020 RAM 1500, and I was having issues with when the RAM screen boots up, or when the music first comes on, it blasts real loud for about a second, and then it goes regular. And then if you hit the mute button, it would do it, or if you switch sources, it would do it. It blasts music real loud for about a second, and then it would quit. And I had lost all hope. I thought I was going to be fucked, and I wasn't ever going to get fixed, or I was just going to have to take it out. And they said people with Mopar products that have the DSR1 DSP unit, they don't recommend you have the latest and greatest firmware. They want you to back up one firmware edition and not use the newest. I would have never guessed that. And I did that on Tuesday, and now it works good. So thank you to Fosgate's customer service. It was very nice and polite, and they knew exactly what I was talking about, and they hooked me up. What's up, Dallas? Thanks for stopping in. I was just telling everybody about the stereo in my truck. Finally got it done. Sounds pretty good. It's got a little bit of a hiss to it when you turn it on. You can barely hear it. My old lady can hear it better than me. I think I'm just partially deaf, but I told the old lady you can't really get rid of that. I'd have to buy a larger 4-channel amp and keep it turned down some. I said right now it's cranked up a little bit, and that hiss is what they call the noise floor in the amplifier. You get a little bit of a almost like a cassette tape. Remember how they used to have a shh in the background? You can hear it a little bit. I did have some engine noise at first, and then after running another ground wire and running it around, I had it grounded to the big metal bracket in the back of the radio, and that's created a bit of a ground loop. So the little amplifier has a 8-gauge power wire coming off of it that was stuck on there, and the DSR1 was grounded to it. What I had to do was go off of that also off of that bracket and take another piece of 8 gauge and run it down, and I run it down to the seat bolt, and the DSR one was grounded to the same spot as the radio in there, in the side of the harness. I had to snip that and let the radio be on its own ground and run a separate ground to that frame. And it got rid of the alternator whine, is what I always call it, the alternator whine. Hey, Mike, what's happening, my man?
Yeah.
It's always good to see my friend Mike. It's always a good time to go down there and visit. I don't know if he wants to do another party next year or not. I don't know if it was really wasn't a giant shindig, but it'd be nice if we grew it and got some more people down there, and eventually, got more fireworks and had a little cookout and stuff. But either way, I had a good time, and I like to think old Beezer showed up and he had some fun, and my lady had a good time. It was a good time. I thought so. And I hauled a camper down there, and I had some issues with it when I was down there, but hopefully that don't happen every time. But it's a camper. But next time around, this time, every time I have a problem, when I go to fix it, I buy 2 of them. And every time something happens again, I'll have spare parts. So, what's up, Steven? Like I say, I got the old lady's subs hooked up. Hers, for some reason, hers doesn't have a factory amplifier, but her sounds way louder than mine. Mine did, so I had to put a factory amp on, her new amp on all the door speakers and stuff. She didn't need to. Hers sounds louder than mine. I don't know why. Probably because mine's a truck. I don't know. I'd assume it's something to do with the acoustics in the vehicle. Whew. It's a sour grape slushy. It's good, but it's sour. Oh, it's green. The cup is green. Yeah, like I said, I got another vigil to go to on Tuesday. I'm taking my sound system or whatever, my little PA, offered to let them use it. It is, I don't know, it's up to you guys. If you guys want me to hook my phone up and stream it, I can. It doesn't really matter. I was going to sing a song, but I would have had to practice it a little bit, so I try to remember the words and whatnot. I mean, I can do it karaoke style and put my screen up there and sing it that way, but still would have rather. I haven't had a chance to practice it, so I told him not to worry about me singing the fucking song. It's just not going to happen this time. The 26th of this month, after church, my daughter's getting baptized. She was embarrassed. We went to church this morning, and they put it up on the screens in the background and said everybody's invited to come to the baptism of Sarah. And she's like, "Oh my goodness!" She was all embarrassed. But it's supposed to be a joyous occasion, you know. No, you don't need to be embarrassed about it. I was thinking about a topic for this week, and I will have to ask you guys, and I know there's a little bit of a delay, so I'll have to wait a minute, and I want to get everybody's opinion on it. I want to know what everybody thinks. If you ever think that racism in the country will go away and we'll all just get along. What do you think? And what do you think about the trajectory we're currently on? You think things were getting better before? I think a lot of the things they're doing right now is making things far worse, in my opinion. I think when I was younger, we all strived for a bit of a colorblind society. We just treated everybody like a person and we didn't care. And I still, they say you're not really supposed to do that if you don't admit to seeing color, that you're a racist or whatever. But that's just not, I just don't believe that. I believe we're all people and we treat each other like human beings and like other people. That's just, to me, that's all there is to it. I don't think anybody should get any kind of special treatment. Everybody should get exactly the same thing. We should all be treated exactly the same. And at one point in time, that's kind of what we was all aiming for. Makes me sad to see a lot of the things in the way that people are going about things now, because I think it's doing way more harm than good. Uh, I immediately knew that a lot of the marches, a lot of the riots, and not everybody's like that extreme by any stretch of the imagination, but I knew that I was like, man, because my daughter was downtown with a sign, you know, and she said, asked me, "What are you, racist? Why ain't you over here with us?" I said, "Dude, you don't understand. It's going to do more harm than good. This doesn't help anything. It's going to make things worse before it ever makes things better." Excuse me. And I unfortunately think that we're headed in a bad direction, not a good direction. I think all this, I want this and give me this and give me that, from anybody, from any race. If you want any kind of special treatment because of your skin color, it's going to be bad. It's bad. It's never good. That's a form of racism all on its own. And a lot of the things going on out there in the world right now are actually the opposite. All kinds of people of color, brown, black, uh, what is it, red, that are Native American, they all preached for equality for years. I want to be judged on character, uh, not on the color of my skin. And we're actually going in the fucking opposite direction. And it hurts me to see that, because I know it's going in a bad fucking direction, and it really bothers me. It really does, because it's going to do way more harm than good. The world's going to, the younger generation that sees all this shit that's going on now, you're creating a next generation of racists, and that's unfortunate. And I don't want to see that. I really don't. And I know I've had talked a little bit about it before. But I remember when my son was, I'm going to say probably about 6 years old. We took him to I used to meet my ex-wife at the play place when McDonald's used to have a play place or whatever. We used to take him a lot to the play place. There was a nice little black kid running around, and my son, they's running around playing and laughing and just having a good old time. And they didn't even care. They didn't see each other that way. They was just a couple of kids playing. And I said, God, I wish the whole world could be that way. I really do. It's a shame that people have spent so much time and frustration and aggravation even bothering to think about something as dumb as like it matters what color your skin is. It doesn't make any difference. I mean, there are uh, cultural differences between some, like some Indian Americans, where, like from where they came from, if they're still practicing, there's some cultural differences. And I'd rather see people go, well, I don't really like their culture, but as long as they don't, you know, not bothering anybody, let them do their thing. Just be glad to be an American. And I still say one of the biggest problems in the country, unfortunately, is prefixes. What I always say, prefixes, adding prefixes in front of American. Everybody that's an American should just say, I'm proud to be an American. And if you want to say, uh, I'm proud of my heritage, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm proud of some of my heritage, the parts that I know about. But, we're all a mixed bag of different things. A lot of us are, but it doesn't matter. There, and it blows my mind. What's up, Jason? Unfortunately, now, not all people are that way, but I hate when people play the race card. Whenever I lived uh, in Canton, always tell everybody I'm from just south of Canton. When I lived in Canton, Ohio, where the Hall of Fame is up there, I had this uh, little chunky black lady come over, walking over on my porch, and she started yelling at me about something. I don't even remember what it was. And I said, "You need to get the fuck off my property." And she goes, "You just say that because I'm black." I says, "It ain't got a fucking thing to do with you being black. I don't give a shit what color you are. You're just a fucking asshole. And assholes come in all colors. And you're a fucking asshole, you fucking bitch. Get the fuck off my property." But I hate that. I still get it. I get it on Facebook too sometimes whenever people want to call me racist. I said, "Listen here, you don't know the first fucking thing about me. You don't. You don't know the first fucking thing about me to try to call me racist." I've had all kinds of friends of all different colors because I don't see them that way. I go up to people and I talk to them, and if they're cool with me, I'm cool right back. I've worked places with uh, big companies, okay, with just a huge mix of all kinds of people, and I just never really gave a shit. I never paid that much attention unless they made it blatantly obvious, and then started acting funny, you know. But I always just you go up to somebody and you just say, "Hey man, what's up?" And they're like, "What's up?" And you just sit there and you bullshit and you talk, and it just doesn't matter. That's the last thing you think about. I don't really care that you're Mexican or black or what. Even though I'm pro legal, immigration. My first thought isn't, dude, are you here illegally? Show me your green papers. I don't care. I don't think of that kind of stuff. I mean, I would prefer, and if I met a Hispanic fella or whatever, Mexican, Guatemalan, around here, there was a lot of Guatemalans. But if I met one and they said, "Hey, I'm not legal. Can you give me a hand?" I'll be like, "Hey, first thing, I'll try to help them." I said, "Let me do some research. I'll find out what all you got to do, and I'll help you. But I want to see you do it the right way, man. I'll help you. If they're cool, if they're a piece of shit, then I'm not going to help you. But fuck, you just treat people like a human being. You just walk up and you just start yapping with them, man. You bullshit with them like you talk to anybody else." What's up, so loud? I think a lot of the media hypes up things excessively, uh, But I think as time's going on, it's getting worse to where people are buying into it. For the longest time, they tried it and tried it, trying to divide America a lot, and it only worked within varying degrees. But I think it's getting worse and worse and worse with people buying into it, and you see it all the time with a lot of these picketers and the far leftists getting more and more violent. It's because you can watch them and see how bad the media is absolutely brainwashing them. Say whatever you want about the right. We believe whatever, whatever our sources are, wherever we get it from. But we're all, for the most part, all about, hey, live and let live for the most part, as long as you're here legally and you want to try to do what's best for everybody. We're not judgmental as nearly as judgmental as the left. The left immediately wants to judge you, immediately wants to fucking label you, immediately wants to treat you like shit, tell you you're stupid, get violent with you. It's getting crazy out there, man. That's why I'm glad there's more and more constitutional carry states. I wish everybody would have just adopted already because there is a lot less violence out there. People doing really stupid things if they think everybody might have a gun in their pocket. There's a lot less of people doing really stupid things. I mean, it's still going to happen. You ain't never going to stop it. And then any country that's come as far as ours, keeping guns legally and ingraining it in our constitution, you're never going to get rid of it. You can say whatever you want, do it, bark as loudly as you want. It doesn't matter. It's never going away. So the best thing you could do is have constructive conversation about ways that we can, make it better, live within the confines of the freedoms that we have. You know, the real talk, because I'm a firm believer that guns don't kill people, people kill people. You understand what I mean? Uh, Harsher penalties for a lot of things if you get caught doing that you're not supposed to be doing. If you don't keep your guns locked up and your kids get a hold of them, you got to be harder on people so people would fucking actually do that. Actually be more careful with their weapons. Well, I think the honestly, I think the left has said so much that they're grabbing Hispanics off the streets, excuse me, and making disappearing them or whatever. They said it so much they they're claiming the right is doing these things that they're not doing, and it's putting fear into them. They're saying the right's scaring them, but they don't realize by saying all the things they're fucking saying that they're the ones that's scaring the shit out of people, and they don't realize that. But they act like all this shit Trump does is something new, and I don't understand it. They demonize him for it. But you realize, I remember when I was younger, go back and watch Cheech and Chong movies, for fuck's sake. They've been doing immigration raids since the fucking 70s, dude. They've always been doing that shit. It's not something new. I don't know. They act like it's this some kind of horrible fucking thing that Trump decided to do one day, and he's all evil and all that. Come on. We've been doing that shit for years. That's not something new. Yeah, act like Trump just invented it. You're out of your mind. You realize most of the things Trump has done is partially copying off of other presidents and other political theorists. Most of his shit's not really new. He's putting together a lot of good policy and some that's not so great, but he's definitely taken a ship that would have sank and he's steering it in the right direction. That's my biggest thing is I want to see us at least get steered in the right fucking direction. Try to right the ship. And there might have to be some more complex, more dramatic changes that we're not used to to correct the course because we was veering way the fuck off course there for a while. I mean, way off course. And, you know, it takes some course correction. Uh, Things are still expensive. It's not going to magically, ting, prices aren't just going to go, wow, oh, look, Trump's in office. Woo. I mean, come on. What do you really think? But it was climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing like nonstop. It was just, we were on an absolutely impossible to maintain path. And at least it's kind of plateaued and Trump's kind of slowed it down, you know. Well, they talk about the horrible things Trump has done, and Obama's the one that made all them fucking cages and shit. They just eh, the Trump derangement syndrome is a legit thing, dude. You watch some of these people, and it's absolutely almost unfathomable how much they hate Trump, and they just th- they won't support anything he does, regardless of whether it's good or not. They just don't care. If it's something Trump did, they'll find a way to hate it. Oh, for those of you that don't know, the Peach is in there. That's my wife. She's upstairs on her phone. For anybody that hasn't uh, missed the shows, or she shows up in here sometimes. I call her the alcohol demon because every time she shows up on the show, she starts feeding me shots. We went out Saturday for a little bit and met up with uh, somebody and went out and had a few beers. I'm just I don't know. I'm old. I can't sleep in anymore because I my back hurts so fucking bad laying down. I can't sleep in anymore. So I'm always up early and I want to go to bed early. I guess that's part of getting old. We was out for a little while. She was ready to drink. She was having fun, but I think she had enough. She skipped church today, so that means if you had so much that you couldn't go to church, I tried to guilt her into it. I told her, I said, for crying out loud, come on, honey, I said, Jesus loves you for crying out. He died on the cross for you, and you can't give him an hour out of your week. She knows I'm kind of kidding. You don't have to go to church. Church is not something you have to do, but you should want to go. I enjoy going. I really do. That's a big difference between when I was younger. See, that's one of them things, man. No matter how much you try to raise your kids right, you never know. They're going to have a mind of their own. You never know how they're going to end up. The harder you push kids into going to church, usually the wilder they get whenever they turn 18 and they experience life outside of church. So I don't know. It's usually good to let them experience church as a kid, but not really force it on them. That way they understand, uh, the history and all that. But it's never a good thing to like really, really push them and hold them down with it. I don't know if you understand what I mean, but that's usually a real bad thing because then like my cousins growing up, they weren't allowed to watch the fucking Smurfs, dude, because the Smurfs has witchcraft in it. I was like, come on, man, that's a bit much. And, there's nothing wrong with stuff like that. That's like saying Iron Man and stuff like that. You can't watch any of the Universals because that's all witchcraft. It's it's imaginary. If somebody told me they thought that shit was real, then I'd be like, yeah, maybe they shouldn't be watching it. But as long as you know it ain't real, there's nothing wrong with that shit, man. You don't have to keep kids away from things like that. I just don't believe that. I had a whole video I was going to show you guys, but it's pretty long, so I changed my mind. But I know I don't like a lot of things that Steven Crowder does. I don't like a lot of his shows, but he started a new series. It's called Black and White on the Gray Issues. If you get a chance, go on YouTube and look it up. He's got one where he recently went into a black barber shop in the hood and just started talking to him and made a lot of the exact same points that I'm telling you about, because it's like he could have picked it right out of my brain. it, but a lot of it's really like people are like really ingrained into a lot of the wrong things, man. I don't know. It's like the whole reparations thing, man. You can't do that. None of us had, and that's been so far removed from anything that anyone has had anything to do with. You just can't do that. Not only would it destroy the country, because the country can't afford to do that. How do you be fair? You can't give it to all black people. It would just have to be black people that were descendants of slaves, and then you'd only have to make the white people. It's not all white people. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. You just can't do that. You can't. But there's so many people that got that in their head that they think they 100% should get it, and they deserve it, and they should have it. I can't agree with that. I just can't. It would destroy. Not only would it destroy the country, but it would create a ton of hatred. But you're also asking for something based on skin color, which is wrong. We're trying to get rid of that. We've been trying, at least we used to try to create more of a colorblind society. People don't care what color your skin is. You just can't. You can't. You can't incorporate the two things don't go hand in hand. You can't have I want this or that because of my skin color. I think somebody should do this or do that, but I don't want people to see skin color. The two philosophies. You can't have them both. You just can't. You either don't want to be seen for your skin color or you do. And unfortunately, there's a huge reemergence of people that do want to be seen for their skin color. And that's so bad. That's so bad. That's not leading down any good roads. That's right, Stephen. God doesn't care about your skin color. God was Middle Eastern. I mean, Jesus was Middle Eastern, which Jesus, if you believe in the regular Christianity, you believe in the Trinity. God was light, and light is all colors. That's something to remember. Technically, light is all colors, and God was light. All right, guys. I'm on 45 minutes, and I'm trying to keep the show shorter because a lot of more people that don't get a chance to watch it do come back and watch it as long as they're not too long. So I've been kind of putting myself on a hard limit to try to keep my mouth shut and not go on too many tangents like I like to do and blabber on and on and on and on and on and on and on. I'm long-winded. I am. But let me know if you want me to put the Charlie Kirk vigil up Tuesday. I might. If you want me to, I will. I just don't know that anybody cares. And until this is going to be the regular thing, I'm going to make it Sundays at 6 Eastern. That's the new time. It seems like people like it better. And the Steelers whooped on the Cleveland Browns today. I got to rub that in everybody's face. It's not an uncommon occurrence. We always win against the Browns. Like I've seen this. I'm rambling again. seen the statistics. The Browns in Pittsburgh, the Steelers are like 21-0 against Cleveland and Pittsburgh. It's barely even a rivalry anymore. I consider the Steelers and Baltimore far more of a rivalry anymore than I do Cleveland. But you can't tell that to somebody that's a Browns fan. They just don't want to hear it. They win. The Browns fans are the worst. They win one fucking game out of like 50, and then never let you stop hearing about it. They just rub it in your face, and rub it in your face, and rub it in your face. I'm like, dude, we won the other 49 times. Stop it. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you next week at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. God bless. I hope y'all have a good week, and I'll see you tomorrow on the other chats. Usually I'm in Hollywood's, BD's, and Mike's codes chat too a lot of times. And I'll see you next week. I love all of you, and God bless.
Hittin' it with HardWire, we're burning it bright. Living on the edge, we'll ride through the night. No fear in our hearts, just the roar of the steel. Together we rise, now this life feels real. Yeah, down a new path on that twisted black line. A YouTube dream where his past can't confine. With every rev, he's reclaiming his soul, teaching the world how to ride, how to